Hey everyone, we are continuing with our top 10 series and this time switching to the defense. Safeties are extremely undervalued in my opinion when it comes to the defense, and honestly, they can be very difficult to scout. But this class I am very high on. I think you can get some very solid starting safeties in day 2 and even day 3. Has some pretty intriguing gems. By the way, there are some guys that some of you may see as safeties, but I see them more as nickel players. And so I didn't include them in the list, like Caleb Ransaw, Upton Stout, and Jordan Hancock. So, anyways, let's get started. At 10, man, this was a close one. I really couldn't decide between RJ Mickens and Keaton Crawford, but I am betting on RJ Mickens from Clemson. RJ is a box safety who I wouldn't trust as a single high safety, but in two high or cover three, I think he'll be just fine. RJ is incredibly smart, and I think he has great eyes and recognition of what offenses are doing. Pretty sound tackler and uses his long arms to reach for defenders, and it comes in handy when playing the ball as well. He had a really high forced and completion rate this year, 24%, but I think he would thrive covering tight ends and running backs mostly. Not the most athletic guy, but he has enough for the NFL, and I just think he puts himself in a great position to succeed on the field. Honestly, it would be cool to see him get drafted day 3 to the Jets, as his dad was a Jet, and he was paired up with Aaron Glenn, the current Jets head coach at safety. Number 9, we got Malachi Moore from Alabama. I really wanted to put Malachi higher, but he is a bit of an average athlete and is a smaller guy, but Malachi plays so much bigger than he is. He plays with amazing anticipation, and his football IQ is incredible. It really allows him to stay in position to make plays, even with his lack of size and athleticism. He's very versatile, as he has played all over the secondary for Alabama. Even with his limitations, he makes plays all over the field and played really well in coverage this year, allowing 13 receptions on 30 targets. He might have some issues playing in the box in the NFL, but he does try to fight through contact. Great tackler as well, he hits hard, and he's always looking to punch the ball out. Really excited to see how he plays on Sundays, but I'm willing to bet on Malachi. I really am. 8 on the list is Jonas Sanker from Virginia, a guy that I really only watched for the first time about a month ago, and I was really impressed with the tape. Jonas is a pretty good athlete, and he has some great initial quickness. Long speed is good, but the initial burst he can really get going, and he showcased it when making a great play tackling Brayshaw Tutton for a tackle for loss. He's a hard hitter and is a reliable tackler. I think he's a strong safety that could cover running backs and tight ends in the NFL. He's a guy you can have in the box and he'll be great for you. And I wouldn't keep him as a single high, but in a two high, he'll be just fine. He also has a lot of special teams experience, so he'll make an impact right away for teams, on top of being a capable starter. Guys with special teams experience will always be thought highly of with NFL teams. So if he doesn't start right away for you, he's going to be a great player on special teams and make an impact for sure. Up next is Billy Bowman from Oklahoma at 7, who is basically the opposite of Sanker. Billy is a guy with elite range. He's very fast and can be a single high safety for a team in the NFL. Unfortunately, he isn't much of a tackler. He tries, but he does whiff a lot. And him having a smaller frame, he can struggle against bigger guys, but seriously, insane ball skills. He's able to track down the ball very well. Great IQ, which allows him to just react to plays and play more instinctual, but instinctual and him just, having play recognition is on par with each other. On top of being a free safety, I do think Billy could cover slot guys if needed and hold his own. He's pretty quick, has light feet to run and stick with receivers. I think if you can handle Billy missing some tackles here and there in exchange for some great big turnovers and splash plays, you'll be happy with him. Just outside, making the top 5 at 6, is Lathan Ransom from Ohio State. Lathan was fun to watch on this Ohio State defense and was a bit of an enforcer for the squad. He really just sets the tone. He's a hard-hitting player. He's extremely disruptive and productive in the run game. He is a box safety that can just come down and be so reliable for a team. He is great at escaping blocks and avoiding them to make great tackles for losses. And he just has a nose for the football. He's constantly forcing fumbles and making plays on the ball, whether putting helmet to the ball or punching it out. He lacks the speed and acceleration as some of the guys higher on the list, but his awareness and IQ helps him out a ton. He could be a little more consistent of a tackler. I think sometimes his aggressiveness gets a little ahead of him and he'll miss here and there or just not fully come at the right angle to make the tackle. But regardless, I think he's going to be an excellent box safety in the league for a long time. The top 5. Such a fun group of guys. And at 5 is Nick Emmanwori from South Carolina. Now, let me start by saying I know I have him at 5, but I really like Emmanwori. That's a lot to like. But damn, some of the flaws I'll get to are hard to overlook. Nick is an absolutely insane athlete. He might be the best athlete in the draft with his size. 6'3", 225 pounds. He's like a linebacker playing safety. He ran a 4.38 40-yard dash with a 1.49 10-yard split. A 43-inch vertical with a goddamn 11-foot 6-inch broad jump. Oh yeah, he also did 20 reps of 225 while having 32.5-inch arms. Like, this is a freak of nature playing the safety position. Like, this is a character you would make in Madden or college football to play safety for you. However, I think Nick relies on his elite athleticism too much. It's pretty much the main reason he makes all his plays, just insane athleticism. He has some moments where he's actually reading a play and jumping it, but it's just way too consistent. He needs to get better at recognizing what he is seeing and reacting at the same time. It just feels he's a step behind, but his athleticism allows him to recover. He sometimes just hesitates too much, and it makes me worry about his play in the NFL. He has the potential to be elite, but I want him to maybe just trust what he's seeing better and just continue to watch tape. Just grind the film. Trust what your eyes see and react. I think it will help him become an elite player in the NFL, and I'm very excited to see how he grows from here on out. At number 4 is a guy I really liked before the start of the season, and I think he had a phenomenal year with Texas, and that is Andrew Mukumba. This dude is so fun to watch and has consistently come up big in key moments for the Texas defense. Andrew transferred from Clemson and just immediately showcased his experience and leadership on that squad. Andrew was able to cut on a dime and accelerate to make a play so well. Transitioning in and out of pedals just seems so natural to him, and his ball skills are incredible. He always puts himself in great position to make a play on the ball. And I know some people are low on Andrew as a tackler, and I will say that the first half of the season was a bit rough for him tackling wise, but he really settled down as the season progressed, and he absolutely plays with some physicality to his game. He comes downhill hard, just hits guys with little remorse for his own safety at times. He sometimes is a bit too reckless on tackles, and it allows him to whiff, but I think he can absolutely hold his own coming downhill and playing the run in the NFL. Really excited to see where he ends up because I have high hopes for Andrew Mukumba. Into the top 3, and man, I have a man crush on each of these dudes as players. Like, I think anybody should be jumping for joy if your team is smart enough to draft one of these players. Please, Chicago, just get one of them, please. So at 3 is Kevin Winston Jr. from Penn State. And look, I almost put Kevin at 2, okay? And I really don't think it's crazy to have Kevin this high, even though he played a game and a half this year. Kevin unfortunately partially tore his ACL, so we didn't see much. But man, this guy's tape in 2023 is absolutely phenomenal. I think Kevin is the best tackler out of all the safeties. And I don't think, obviously it doesn't really seem like a hot take because it wasn't until this year that Kevin finally got logged for a missed tackle. He went 2 full years as a freshman and a sophomore with no missed tackles. That's insanely impressive. I believe Kevin has the ability to play either safety position due to just how fluid of an athlete he is. And he has showcased to have very good range as well. He showcases great IQ and play recognition to just be so disruptive around the field. I think the only reason Kevin won't be drafted in the first round this year is because of the injury. If he would have been healthy, I think there's a real possibility where he is safety number 1 in this class. Now, number 2 on my list is another player who I had my eyes on after the 2023 season, as he really blew up on the scene. And honestly, I think he had an even better 2024. Xavier Watts is the definition of a ball hawk. This guy always puts himself in position to make or force a turnover. He's just constantly around the ball. When his teammates force a fumble, he is there to scoop it up and score. If you make a mistake around him, he will make you regret it. On 32 targets, he only allowed 17 receptions, forcing a 30.1 passer rating against him. He had 6 interceptions last year as well. I think he did a much better job tackling this year, but I do think he's not an elite tackler, but he'll hold his own in the NFL. Watts is just excellent in man coverage. I think he will do well covering many tight ends in the future. I will say, Watts is just an average athlete, or at least, he tested that way. I think he's got some solid speed and acceleration, but overall as an athlete, a bit average. But his IQ and positioning is so elite that he makes up for it. Watts is a player where you just need to trust the tape. Trust what you see on tape, and you'll be happy with what you have in Xavier Watts. And this also applies to our number 1 safety as well. At 1, Malachi Starks. Starks has been an absolute monster at Georgia, and this year he was asked to do a lot for the defense. And I think he handled everything really well. Now, Starks did not test very well during the combine, but I do not care. He and Watts, I think, play much faster than their testing indicates. Trust your eyes, trust the tape, and the tape tells me this guy is going to be a hell of a player in the NFL. He's extremely versatile and can play free, strong safety, or in the slot. He's an elite tackler. He just doesn't miss many tackles. Great wingspan, which helps him with tackling and also just playing the ball. His smoothness in the hips and feet allow him to change direction, and he can maximize his range that way too. He does well pre and post snap identifying plays, elite ball skills as well. If the ball is in the air, Starks will go get it. Just great body control. I will say, I think Starks' play recognition, or maybe he second guessed himself a little bit too much this year. But there were certain times he just felt a little bit behind, just a tad. Maybe he was taking some risk and it just didn't happen to go his way this year. But regardless, I think he's going to be just fine moving forward. I am very excited to see where Malachi Starks ends up because I think he's going to be an immediate force for someone at the safety position. Now, before I end the video, I really want to just say I really love this safety class. I think so many of these guys have the potential to be amazing players, and I can't wait to see how they play at the next level. Thank you for tuning into the video. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to click on the video, and if there's someone you think I missed or viewed differently, let's talk about it. If you liked the video, feel free to share it with your friends. If you didn't like the video, then don't do that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.